Good evening. The president has a job to do, and that's to protect American lives, here and abroad. Defend the Constitution of the United States and protect the people of the United States from foreign and domestic enemies. Right? That is what this is about. That is what he has to do. That's what this is about, right? Okay. We got that clear. But if you like this video, hit that subscribe button down there. If you're not subscribed, hit it anyway. Love to hear a comment too. Whuy in the year 1799, and it's great to be home again, as you can see. Let's go through this a little bit. The president's job is to protect American citizens. Period. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's to protect American citizens from foreign and domestic enemies. Classic example, Washington, D.C. Crime was rampant. Murder, rape, robbery, sexual assaults, gangs, shootings. Law enforcement was overwhelmed. Solution: send in the National Guard. Not to do law enforcement's work, but to assist law enforcement. Now, Democrats had a hysterical fit over it. They tried to blow this thing up out of the media. But Washington is safer. So it must work, huh? Then let's go back to Chicago. Crime is rampant. California, crime is crazy over there. And all these other states, blue states, controlled by the Democratic Party, run by Democrats, crime is rampant. All they can think about is gun control. We need more gun control. We need more gun control. But people are dying. But these governors and these mayors will tell you, no, it's not true. No, it's not true. We have it under control. So they say. This is the irony of this mess. You have a governor of Illinois, Pritzker, by the way, is saying they don't need the National Guard there. They don't need Gestapo there. Which is a very sad term to use for the military. When the people of Chicago are asking for help, they're begging for the president to bring in somebody to help them. California, all of these states, you have the party trying to stop it. Meanwhile, people are dying. There's gangs, mass shootings, drugs, rapes, robberies, kidnappings, sex trafficking, you name it. Crime is off the rails. But Democrats are going to fight him on it. The governors are going to fight him on it. They stand behind the podium, they stand in front of the media. He's a Nazi, he's Hitler, he is a fascist, he is Gestapo, he is everything under the sun, and then more they can come up with, stories-wise. Meanwhile, the people are injured, they're dying, they're getting killed, they're getting robbed, they're getting raped, they're feared to leave their homes. Then you got these six fools, and I'm going to bounce off this a little bit. Then you got these six fools that are telling you to disobey a direct order You had the right to disobey a direct order. Disobey what direct order? That's another thing I can't figure out neither. So if saving American lives is to disobey a direct order, that just totally makes no sense. Well, why would they say that? That's a question I can't figure out. What did they in turn disobey a direct order? An unlawful order will say. Disobey an unlawful order. Right. That makes no sense. What is an unlawful order? What do these Democrats mean to disobey an unlawful order? When it comes to American lives, is that considered an unlawful order? People getting murdered, raped, robbery, carjacked, gangs, an unlawful order to protect these people? I don't understand. I'm totally baffled by this. Now, I never was subjected to any unlawful order when I was in the service. Now, all trainees who go through boot camp are introduced to military code of justice, the do's and don'ts, and what the rules are, what the laws are. And you also have the right to question an order. And that could come from miscommunications, garbled communications, something not clarified. You have a right to question an order. Not to disobey, but to clarify. And it's up to your military commanders to clarify those orders. And then it comes right on down the channel. Period. So if the president decides to use the National Guard to do something, it makes no sense to sit there and say, well, you need to disobey an unlawful order. So bringing in the National Guard is an unlawful order. Using the National Guard to assist law enforcement to protect citizens is an unlawful order. The National Guard is a multitask organization. From riot control to saving lives in storms and other injuries to being deployed to fight wars, to protect the home front. That's the job. Is any of that considered an unlawful order? The president has the right to do what he has to do. We all remember what happened when Black Lives Matter went rampant across this country. Burning down and murder. And Antifa was right with them. The interesting part to all that is law enforcement was told to stand down by their governors because these were peaceful demonstrators. Peaceful demonstrators. The President of the United States could not deploy the National Guard. He was hampered heavily by the Democrats and by other administrators in Washington, D.C. When the smoke settled and the dust cleared, first thing you do is blame Donald Trump. Donald Trump did this, it's Donald Trump's fault that, Donald Trump did this, Donald Trump did that, it's Donald Trump's fault, he's the one who's responsible. Learning that lesson, he's not going to let it happen again. But they're still doing everything they can to stop him. You have these boats coming out of Venezuela. China's supplying Venezuela with drugs. Drugs are coming into this country. The Republican Party is actually showing that the Christie Noem and the DOJ is showing these large shipments of drugs and weapons. Democrats never showed anything like that. Yet they'll sit and complain about these poor people, these poor fishing boats are getting blown out of the water and double tapped and all this. Rules of engagement are very specific. You do not stop, pay the consequences, fortunately. When American lives are threatened, it is his job to do whatever it takes, the tools he has to stop these drugs from coming to this country, killing American citizens, and stop the bad people from coming in here doing these jobs. But since Russia is threatening the United States to stay out of Venezuela, China is telling us to stay out of Venezuela, now you got the Democratic Party sitting there complaining like they want to stay out of Venezuela and protect them. What gives? What makes any sense out of this? People were dying in this country at a rapid rate. For some reason, the Democrats don't seem that worried about it. They're more worried about the illegals, more about giving driver's licenses, they're more about giving the medical care. And a safe place. Sanctuary states, sanctuary communities. The National Guard will do what it can to protect American lives. There is no question here. There's no unlawful order here. The only unlawful order is the ones they send out to tell the National Guard to disobey an unlawful order. So the President of the United States is sending people out to protect American citizens. That's an unlawful order. You have your military out there protecting against an adversary. That's an unlawful order. All orders are double checked for any legalities before it comes right down to chain of command. Before it gets right down to the troops on the ground, or the Air Force, or the Navy, or whatever it may be. And it's systematically gone through carefully. Any questions needs to arise. Any information needs to come out. That's the job. Because they want to make sure the operations are safe and legal. So how is there an unlawful order? There is none. For what they did is wrong. They're the ones giving an unlawful order. And they should be put in check for that. There's consequences for that. There's no unlawful order here. The only unlawful order is the ones they create. The Democrats control, the party controls these blue states. And these are the states that people are dying most of. Can't make stuff up. So you protect and defend yourselves and train heavily. So then we'll catch you around. And remember, there is no such thing as an unlawful order. You take care.